So you worked your magic again with this one by getting Bruce Greenwood's back.
How lucky was that? And we had tried to get him before on various other projects, and I'm kind of glad we didn't, because this one is such a perfect marriage of actor and role. It's so good. Have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
You have seen it?
Some of us have seen it, yeah.
He's really,
Yeah.
he's really good. He's really good.
What about, I'm going to take your question.
That's okay.
What about Jensen Ackles? I mean, he's amazing, but what made you think of him for the role of Jason?
Sometimes you just take a risk and you go, I think he can do it. And I have to tell you, I've been doing this for 25 plus years. And every time I hire an actor that hasn't done it before, I get like flop sweats. I'm like, oh dear, what if I screwed up? And it's taken, 3 months to line up the schedule to get him here in the room with me, and the money that it's taken to get whatever the camera crews that are going to do the DVD extras and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, just go, oh man, what if I've made the wrong decision? And fortunately, that rarely ever doesn't play out in the wrong way. That's why I still have a job. But he was so good, and what was so wonderful about working, 1,000 years ago I was an actress myself, and so I have a great respect for actors and what they go through in order to do a performance. And Jensen at one point in this piece, for those of you who've seen it, has like an emotional breakdown on screen. And while I was directing him and while he was going through it, the tears were rolling down my face, and I was like, we need one more chance. But I like that too. If they can reach me that way, I figured that they reach the audience as well, because it's kind of like I'm one of those people that if I see somebody else cry, I tend to cry. In the same way, if somebody I have a strong gag reflex as well. But he kind of really let himself be exposed in this piece, and that's wonderful. That's so nice when you see this character, because that character runs a large range of emotions. He's so tough, and he's so bitter, and he's so angry, and he's so crazy. And then we get to see him go, why did you let this happen? Why did you not avenge me? It's making me my eyes water right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was saying, I've never had any sympathy for that character in the comics.
For Red Hood?
Yeah, for Jason Todd Red Hood, any of his incarnations. I've never liked him. And I watched this, and I wasn't in tears, but I was so close.
I'm so glad. That's easy to say. I wish I could take credit for that. That has to do with the people who wrote it and came up with the whole way of playing this. And, this was an instance where things aligned so beautifully as far as the talent we were able to get. Brandon Vietti, who's just a wonderful director. Bruce Timm, of course, who I adore for a million years. My second husband, Bruce Timm. We spent so much time together. And just, John DiMaggio, scary good as the Joker. And you think about, and I know John was frightened to do the role, because you think about the footsteps he's got to follow in. You've got Jack Nicholson, one of the best actors alive today, who's played the Joker. You've got Heath Ledger's performance, which was terrifying and wonderful. You've got Mark Hamill, who was a remarkable Joker, and still plays him wonderfully when we use him for that. And John had a challenge. And I think it's one of the scariest Jokers I've ever seen. It's
like he kind of goes to town. He's like
really
angry all the time.
Yes, and you believe that he enjoys the sadistic aspect of the Joker. It's like he enjoys being, not John, the Joker enjoys torturing Batman by killing. It's just astounding. And then other actors that we have, like Jason Isaacs, who plays Ra's al Ghul, stunning actor, wonderful, so lucky every time I get to work with him. Who sits in a recording session and not only is there acting-wise, but goes, if you take this line and shorten it by 3 words and put it before this, doesn't the sense of it make a better flow? Yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for making my job easier.
Exactly right. And that's what you want. And that's why I do take the risk to bring in some of those actors, because they bring something to the party. They don't just come in and do their job and walk out. They come in, they go, I'm invested in this. I want to bring something to it that will make it even better. And that's the 2 Martella brothers. I don't know if you've interviewed them yet. They play the 2 Robins. They're so good. Scary good. The older brother, Vincent, as we're doing the ADR, which is working to picture once you've got it back, there's that opening scene when he's stumbling and he's being beaten. And And he noticed things, little tiny minutiae in the picture that I hadn't even seen, and he'd ask me, Andrea, do you want me to acknowledge when my foot kind of is going to collapse underneath me? Do you want me to give that a little... Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, you got one more minute if you want to get the rest of the crowd.
All right, then.
Okay.
I mean, get someone like John DiMaggio. Obviously, he's better known for his comedy. But
Right.
It's obviously a much darker role. Do you think that's what appealed to him?
I do, and that's what appealed to me too. Was let me see John. I know how good an actor he is. Let me see him do something that is not just falling off a log. Something that's going to give him a challenge. That's going to dig his teeth into, and he did. He really did. And I think actors like that too. You know, you just don't want to see an actor do the same thing every time, play this guy. And I think that was a good challenge for him, and I enjoyed it. It was fun for me.
Are there any Batman, actors that you want to play Batman left that you already have on the list?
I want to see John Hamm play Batman. I do. I want to see. I think he'd be very, very good.
He's got the voice for it.
And we know he's got that dark
Yeah.
side. We've seen that, and I think he'd be really good. Frankly, I'd hire him as a Smurf. I just think he's a remarkable actor.
Have you seen any footage from The Town yet? Because he goes into really dark places in that, so that's why he said that. I was like, totally, yeah.
He's a remarkable actor. There's several people. I keep a list of actors that I want to work with, and I started it way back when I was at Hanna-Barbera in 1984. And over the years, I've been able to tick off how many I've been able to get. And Bruce Greenwood was one of them. And so I'm really happy to have him on this piece. But John Hamm in the last 4 or 5 years, it's like I've offered him 3 or 4 gigs. It's not that he doesn't want to do it. It's just he's incredible. He's just everybody wants him, and rightly so.
So when you hire a celebrity opposed to somebody who doesn't have any experience with it, do you think that celebrity aspect changes the character and how they turn out?
Very good question. I hire them because of how they are as an actor, not because whether they're a celebrity or not. I hire them because I think they can do the role. I think